Welcome to She Trusts Herself, the podcast for women who are learning to trust themselves, honor their inner voice, and choose themselves without guilt. I'm your host, Tashleem, author, guest speaker, and certified human design reader. Together, we'll explore overcoming self-doubt, building deep self-trust, personal growth, and stepping into the next version of yourself with confidence. Welcome back to another episode. Joining me today is Brooke. And Brooke is a mindset and wellness coach who supports women to feel calm, grounded, and empowered in their bodies through gentle emotional processing and embodied practices, including NLP, hypnotherapy, and timeline therapy. Brooke helps women prioritize their health, process stored emotions, and nurture kindness from within.
Hey, how you going? I'm Brooke from Whyte Wellness. I am a master NLP practitioner and hypnotherapist.
How long have you been in that space for, Brooke?
I have been in this space now for a year and a half now. I did my NLP prac, my master in NLP, and my hypnotherapy training all last year in 2024 with Evolve and Relaunch.
Oh, that's amazing. So what kind of drew you to NLP?
So in 2023, started my one-on-one coaching with Amanda Kate. And I was actually drawn to a sister circle that she was running at my gym. And I thought that going into it, I was drawn to finding more confidence and also time management. But turns out that I had so much more I needed to to get through and release. That's when I fell in love with it and I knew I needed more. So yeah, I went on the journey of some one-on-one coaching and here I am.
Offering that service to everyone else who needs it.
Exactly. Yeah, I fell in love with it and I was like, I need to bring this to the world and bring my skills to the world. So yeah, went off to and did the studies and then now with Whyte Wellness.
That's amazing. So when you were doing your NLP training, was there something that you discovered about yourself in that process?
There was lots throughout the training. We're not only listening and learning, but we're also developing our own skills. So a lot of it was actually doing coaching with other students. I can't remember exactly any of the ones that I went through during the training, but we did a lot of emotional release when you don't process or let the full cycle of your emotions process and return back to equilibrium. You actually store that. So you not only store it within your body, but you store it within your time frame or your timeline. And then those actually start to build up. That's why you then end up having the, huge emotional outburst for one tiny little thing, because you're not only feeling the emotion for that event, but you're drawing everything from your past that's unresolved as well. So did a lot of that, which is really nice to let go of and not have to carry that around. And also did some limiting beliefs, so learn how to do that. Similar sort of thing going back through your timeline. I think one of my biggest limiting beliefs I had pre-baby was that I wasn't enough. Clearing that, there was also other stuff that was attached to that I needed to clear. Knowing that now I am enough and I am actually worthy is actually really nice and really empowering.
Absolutely. Especially when you are a mum as well, and irrespective of whether you are or aren't, just having that innate trust and belief in yourself that you are worthy, you're capable, and you are enough. I think it's a piece of the puzzle that a lot of us, especially women, are missing in particular. We keep reaching for things outside of ourselves to make us feel valuable. We tie our worth to how productive we are, how much we weigh, how much we help other people. And we're constantly looking outside of ourselves. So it's incredible that you've found a modality that's been able to make you realize that you are enough and you can just hold that internally and that's yours to keep and no one can take that away from you.
And like you say, you don't have to then go outside of yourself for that validation. You can find it within, which is really special.
And have you been able to witness that transformation with your clients as well?
Absolutely. It's so nice watching the shifts because they happen right in front of you. I get to see it. There'll be changes in your breathing patterns, in the way they're speaking, just the whole body shift. It's really nice to see, and that does really light me up. I can't probably explain, or you probably know what the feeling's like yourself. But yeah, it's that feeling you get being able to help someone through that and for them to come away with the learnings they need. It's pretty special.
It's kind of that shared experience because you have been through that transformative experience yourself and you know what's the before and after feels like, and
Yeah.
having people trust you to come to you and like arrive to you as the before version of themselves, and then to facilitate that growth and evolution and to see who they are after once they've shed those emotional layers and the conditioning and the things that have held them back, which they probably weren't even aware of because majority of the time it's all in our subconscious. Then being able to see them and that light come back in their eyes, I think that's so special. Whatever the way is that you can help people get that spark back, I think is fantastic. But yeah, I definitely know what you mean. It's just, it's so satisfying to be there for them and know that you've impacted their life in such a great way. And then there's that ripple effect too,
Yeah.
because then they show up differently and more themselves in other aspects of their life as well.
Yeah, yeah, and like you were saying, it's that ripple effect. So, you're not only helping the individual, but that then spreads out from them as well, and can change lives within their domain as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I guess for women who may be listening in and they feel like they have a gift and something to offer the world, but they're doubting themselves whether they're wanting to enter, say, a saturated market, or it's just something that they've never done before and they're not sure how others are going to receive it. When you were on your NLP journey and then realizing that it was something that you wanted to do and build a business around, was there anything that came up for you in terms of doubt or hesitation with starting it?
Yeah, absolutely. I went through everything that you probably just mentioned. It's a, flooded market. Would I need to, or what could I offer these women or these people? How would I do it? Like, oh, maybe it's just not for me. And I did do that for a long time. Like, I knew quite early on in my one-on-one coaching that I do want to explore this, but I didn't. I didn't allow myself to dream. I didn't allow myself to like think of the possibilities. So for ages, I just did nothing. And then finally one day, it was during a new moon ceremony that I did with Mandy from Awakened Wellness. Yeah, I was just like, it came to me and I was like, I've got to do it. So I did. I booked a call then with Evolve and Relaunch and had a chat to them about like what I wanted and the courses, and then went from there. And then while I was doing my NLP, because I did the NLP first, they were talking about then their master's program, and I found myself back in that spot again of, oh no, I can't do that. Self-doubt, like I can't do that. But then I had the realization that I was playing out that pattern again of self-doubt. And I was like, actually, I'm not going to let this win this time. So yeah, booked in to do my master's. And I actually finished that 4 days before I gave birth to our daughter. So it was meant to be, and we made it happen.
Well, it's good that she stayed put long enough to
Yeah.
let you finish it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
Oh,
yeah, I was very happy that I was able to finish it.
I think it's true because sometimes there's a perception out there that the people that go after their goals don't experience any self-doubt. And I think it's good to know and good to share that we all experience doubt. It's just whether we let that stop us or whether we push through it, for want of a better term, and go, no, rather than letting self-doubt win, I'm actually going to trust myself and know that I want to achieve this for a reason and I want to see it through regardless of what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone experiences it, and we do. Like when we're, oh, I know for myself, when I get into that space, I do feel quite lonely and don't think that anyone else is going through this. But it's not true. There's so many people out there who are going on a similar journey. If you can overcome it, it'll be the best thing for yourself. So
That is so true. And I think as well with self-doubt when it pops up, it's just because we're doing something new and our brains are saying, oh, danger. It's something that we're not familiar with. And it's not necessarily trying to hold you back. It's just trying to keep you safe because it knows that where you are now, it knows how to handle all of that. And then the doubt pops up because you're wanting to stretch yourself. And if you do say yes to stretching yourself, then that becomes your new norm as well. And so that doubt fades away because you've given your brain that tangible evidence that you can do it and you're safe and you're still alive and breathing and everything's fine. And then you
Yeah.
just kind of keep going from there.
Yeah, exactly. And like your nervous system doesn't see the details of everything. Like it sees threat. When you're going to do something different, like start a podcast, start a business, learn something new, it doesn't feel safe in your nervous system. Your nervous system actually sees it the same way as you would if a lion was chasing you. Like that's not safe. We need to go. And it's just learning to, yeah, to trust yourself and also to regulate yourself in those moments that, like you said, you can push past, and you then grow your comfort zone, and overcome that self-doubt.
So, I guess with you and the tools that you have in your toolkit, is there something that helps you push through that self doubt? Is it the awareness piece, or is it something that you'll do physically or mentally to help you acknowledge it and move through it?
Probably a little bit of a combination. Awareness is the first step to everything. So, you can't really do anything until you've got the awareness. And then it's what you do with that awareness that's the important part. You can have the awareness and do nothing, and then you get nowhere. But for me, there are different ways that I will do things. Sometimes I've gotten to the point now where I get the awareness and I actually just choose to be different. And that's all it comes down to is it's like, I know, no, I actually am choosing to be different. And then other times it's also going back, I journal on it. And that way I can get all of my thoughts out of my head and then process them. And then other times I've got to, get some external help as well and get some coaching and actually get to the bottom of what's going on, and get to the root cause. And then once I've got those learnings, then I'm off and gone.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And I think that's really good because sometimes we look for that silver bullet and we think, oh, it's just one thing that I need and that will just cure my self doubt forever. Or anytime it pops up, I can just rely on this one thing. Sometimes you can to a certain extent, but not always. And I think having those different tools and figuring out, okay, what do I need to help me move through this type of self doubt is really important. And I think will be very valuable for the listeners. So if you try one thing and you're determined to move through your self doubt, if the first thing that you try doesn't work, try something else because it's not you, it's just your brain needs a different bypass to kind of agree to let you move on and move through what you're going through as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, keep trying. The first thing or the first few things you do might not work. You've just got to connect and find that connection, and you'll get there.
I love that. You mentioned earlier as well that you are a mum. So has being in business kind of changed since you've become a mum, or like how you value your time and show up for clients?
Yeah, absolutely. It took me a long time to realize that everything had actually changed after becoming a mum. It was like in the mindset that, oh, I've done all the courses, I've done all the things, I'm fine. But internally, I wasn't. I have caught myself saying, wish I had started this process and, got the help 6 months earlier. But it's not possible because I didn't have that awareness. So I couldn't do it. The early days of becoming a mum, I did ignore my business quite a lot because I was afraid of losing out time with my daughter. I just didn't acknowledge it, tried to hide it away. And then once I got the help and got some coaching and unpacked a few of the layers, I was able to come back into the business space. I am showing up different because I have now a deeper understanding and gone deeper into my healing, but it may not also appear that way from the outside. Like I'm still showing up with huge amount of love for my clients, and I can see even deeper now, like that they've already made the changes that they need to. So it's just being able to guide them then through that process so that they can get exactly what they need out of it to get their outcomes.
I think it's so true, though, in terms of when you become a mum, you do have to kind of accept begrudgingly that life looks a lot different. And I think it's not necessarily about ignoring your business. I would say it's just reprioritizing. And I think when you're in that newborn bubble and even a couple of months postpartum or even longer, you want to soak up those special moments with your little one. That is just like the most important thing for majority of new parents, I think, at that point of time, because it's just so incredible watching them like learn new things and just discover the world. And then you're just there to facilitate them. And then I think that feeds in so beautifully to your business, where you can then support and hold your clients in a way that is deeper and maybe more nurturing before. And that's not to say that you weren't doing any of that pre becoming a mum, but I think it just, you look at the world a bit differently, I think, and you notice the nuances a lot more. And you see that with your baby, like you notice the little things that may not be there every day, like those little flickers and shimmers of goodness. And then you start to see that in other people as well, like the small changes, maybe before they've even seen it in themselves. It deepens your perspective and insights that you can share with other people as well.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the word that I would use is deepens as well. Like it's exactly how it is for me.
That's awesome. In terms of your clients, do you have a specific type of individual that you like to help out, or is it just like any women that can come and speak to you or see
Yeah,
you?
pretty much any any female also all women. I've got the modalities that I use allow me to coach the individual in front of me, whatever they're facing. If they're finding that their mindset doesn't align with what they actually want to achieve, we can we can do it. And I do it from a space of, like you said, nurturing, and that is where I come from. So we want to nurture you through and get you to a more grounded, more aligned place so that you can actually take the actions you want in your life.
Sounds like an incredible transformation that you can offer women who are ready to come and see you. And I think that's sometimes the biggest step, is knowing that it's okay to ask for help. And on the other side of asking for help is feeling more connected and more grounded to your true self as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're shedding the layers of the programming and the beliefs that you learnt to survive, because we did. At some stage, we learnt these patterns to survive. Sometimes most of the time, they no longer fit what you want to do with your life, and that's when we can come in and work and help to rebuild those.
Amazing. And we are recording this on the 29th of December for anyone listening. So, with that in mind, with the new year fast approaching, is there anything that you would recommend or have any opinions on in terms of New Year's goals and resolution?
You don't actually have to change. Is my big thing. You actually don't need to change to achieve your goals at all. You just need to reclaim the parts of you that you've denied yourself. That's something that I'm doing coming into the new year as well. And I was reminded, I think a couple of weeks ago, that you can't recognize something in someone else if you don't already have that. So if you're looking at someone and seeing their confidence, their calm, go get them attitude, the reason you're recognizing that is that because it's actually already within you. You've just denied yourself from having that for whatever reason. Like we were saying, it was probably to keep you safe. You probably told at some point that you can't be confident because of whatever it is, bad or whatever image you have. You are actually safe to reclaim those, and that's what I would do, and that's what I am doing to move into 2026.
I love that. I think that's so cool. I haven't heard it from that perspective before. I'm more of I don't believe in the whole new year, new me concept. And I think
Yeah.
it flows in well with what you're saying in terms of we expect that we're just going to wake up on the 1st of January as a whole new person. And like, that's just unrealistic and just sets really high expectations for the year where you don't need to, and puts undue pressure on yourself. And I think it's not about fixing yourself, because I don't think any of us are broken. It's just the coding that we have and the programming may just need to change. You may just need to update it and work out what lines you need to delete and what ones you want to replace them with. Or maybe you don't need to replace them at all. It's just about simplifying. And I love the perspective, rather, of coming back to yourself, like underneath all of the things that you've told yourself you need to be, all the parts of yourself that you need to suppress. And I think that as well flows into the self doubt, because when you start to realize and see those parts of yourself that you haven't let yourself or the world see for sometimes decades, it can be really confronting and uncomfortable to let those resurface again, even though those are likely like the best parts of yourself. And then that's where you shine as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't believe in the the new year, new you. And I find as well that in this space between Christmas and New Year can be like a limbo phase. Like, and I used to do it. That's how I know. You're kind of waiting for that. Oh, 1st of January, like I've just got to get through to the 1st of January and then everything will be different. And you can consciously choose to do that. But if you don't have the unconscious mind aligning with that as well, it's going to be very hard and won't be sustainable. That's where by February we have people who are no longer doing the things they said they were doing to reach their goals. That's another thing, is that I would question the listeners as well, is, are your goals actually for you, or are they for somebody else?
I feel like we're just in the same frame of mind about it. I was trying to record an episode yesterday about the end of year and spent like an hour trying to do it, and I just wasn't getting the words out properly. But it was essentially just mirroring what you just said, in terms of you need to have a really strong why connected to your goals in order to achieve it once the motivation fades. And sometimes it's after the first week of January. Sometimes you may get through until Feb, which is a pretty good achievement, especially if you're just running solely on motivation. And if you're doing the goals because you think you should, or they seem really impressive when you share them with other people, then you're not going to achieve them unless you are fueled by spite or petty or stubbornness or something like very, very strong. Speaking from experience too, it's not going to work because you're not connected to it. You're not doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it for external factors, not for internal fulfillment and satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly. When we're looking at goals and values as well from an NLP and hypno perspective, you have a towards and an away from motivation. And if your majority an away from motivation, as soon as that away from pain minimizes, you stop, because you're waiting for the pain. Like, you need that pain to keep you going. And eventually it does, that pain softens, and then you will need that pain again to get you going again. That's when you get those self-sabotaging tendencies to come in, which I don't like the word self-sabotage, because it is just to keep you safe. But if you can have, like, we do need some away from motivation, because that actually gets us moving. It gets us going. But you want the towards motivation to keep you going. That's where you need the blend of the two to achieve your goals.
That's so interesting. I haven't heard it explained like that before. That's really good to know. And again, it's a different way of looking at it, in terms of, oh, maybe that goal didn't work because I wasn't doing it for myself and there wasn't enough motivation pulling me towards it. And it's also where you have that on-off relationship with working on your goals too, because like you said, it's like you reach that pain threshold and you're like, oh yeah, I've got to do something about this. And then it eases off and you're like, oh no, it's good, I can coast again. And then it's just that yo-yo effect where the action is very dependent on the pain level, or again, something external to you, rather than that driving force where you're going to do it no matter what. It doesn't matter how you feel or what others say. You're just so driven by it that you just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting that blend which is really nice. And then the other thing as well is linking your values with your goals. What are your values in life? And it's not what you think you should have, it's what you actually value. And then, yeah, linking those to your goals. How is your goal going to fulfill that value in life? You know, if it's health, freedom, money, like whatever it is, if you can link that, then it actually becomes like a more of a, well, I've got to do it, don't I? Like, I have to do this now. Like, I've got so many reasons why I need to do this, which really helps as well. And it makes it easier to do those little uncomfortable steps to get you to your goal.
But yeah, so you've got so many things working towards you. You can't argue with yourself when you've written it down on paper to show yourself that this aligns with my core value and all of the things that I want moving forward. So you're just going to work on it regardless. Maybe if we take a step back to just in terms of how you touched on core values, if that's something that you haven't explored ever or even for a while, it's worthwhile sitting down and being honest with yourself about what your top 3 to top 5 core values are and what fuels you and what drives you. And again, you can reach out to other people and maybe ask them for their perspective. And I would probably choose people that know you quite well, and maybe even someone that doesn't necessarily know you too well, just to see what their thoughts are, because it may surprise you. They may know you better than what you think that they do as well. But just having a think about that and knowing that if your core values have changed over time, then it's probably a sign that you've grown as a person, but also you've had new experiences in life and it makes sense that it would change. Like for me, in my early 20s, my top values were adventure, travel, and another one that I can't remember off the top of my head. They were my top ones. Whereas now, being in my 30s and being a mum myself, that has definitely shifted. I'm more in the stage of wanting, say, flexibility with my schedule and just being present. Those are kind of my core values now. And they're allowed to shift as well. And I think that means that your goals will also likely shift. It's kind of a constant evolution and it'll grow with you as you grow as a person too.
Yeah, like you mentioned, your values do change with your experiences. So yeah, it's something to do quite often. It's not something to do once a year before you try and put together your goals for a new year. It's something that you need to keep coming back um, to make sure that you're living life in alignment with how you want to be.
Yeah. And even your driving factors as well. I think when we look at it from, say, a business perspective and you go, okay, what do I value most in that part of my life? And it could even then stem into relationships and things like that too. So the values, you might have your core values and then you'll have sort of your sub values that help you determine how you show up and interact with other people as well. So one might be accountability, another could be loyalty, another one might be integrity as well. And they may be your cornerstone values for how you want to show up in your relationships, in your business, and things like that, and kind of what you expect or hope for in return as well. So like you said, I think it's just one of those things that you kind of need to constantly reevaluate. And if it changes, don't freak out. It's totally fine. It's just about being honest with yourself. And there's no point in trying to hold on and retain a core value when you've outgrown it and you're ready for another one to take its place.
Yeah, exactly. You can have different values in the different areas of your life as well, like you were saying, for business and relationships and health. Like you can have values then within those. It's about understanding that. And also like not just knowing the label of the value, but understanding what it means to actually you. So I did elicited my values, I think it was last week, and I had really abstract stuff this time. They're quite abstract. So then I had to go down and go, well, okay, so what is this actually for me? And why is it important to me? Because with our top value as well, it's generally created from a void. So we feel like we're lacking that. So it's understanding that as well. It's like, well, okay, why am I feeling like this? So that you can move towards what you want instead of away from what you don't want.
I hadn't thought of it in terms of our top values based on a void or something that we feel like is missing in our lives. We compare our core values to other people as well, or the ones that we think we should have. And again, it's dropping the shoulds and the pressure and going, no, what do I actually want? And just thinking, okay, this is me. Like, what drives me? What fuels me? And writing that down. And it doesn't matter how it looks like to other people because they're allowed to have their own core values. It's just about you and understanding yourself on that deeper level and going deeper into it and going, okay, I might value loyalty. Why do I value loyalty? And going from there, it's kind of the 7 why process and just kind of going until you find that core reason. And again, when you understand why it's a value, then I think it deepens your connection to your goal and your purpose, especially when things get challenging, which they always do. It's just having that stronger connection to yourself and knowing yourself on that deeper level.
Yeah, exactly. And when I first started my healing journey and was introduced and fell in love with NLP and hypnotherapy, I was looking at it and I was like, oh, in 6 months' time, life is going to be so much better, which it was. But I thought that in 6 months' time, that would be the end. And like you're saying, with every level, there's a new devil. It's navigating that. And you can stop at any time if you're happy and you're content. You don't have to go digging for stuff. Like things will come to you. And that's the beauty of your unconscious mind, is that it is only ever trying to keep you safe. And it will only ever bring things to your awareness when you're ready to deal with it and when you're ready to heal. So you're not going to get something come up when you're not ready for that. You may feel like you're not ready in the moment, but your unconscious mind, you are ready. There are also like a few things you can do as well from an NLP perspective if your self-critic is being a right pain and quite loud. And I would like love for people to give this a go as well, because it is quite fun because you can do whatever you want. Try and play with the voice. Can you change the voice of your self-critic? Can you make it Donald Duck? Can you make it SpongeBob? And then see how your connection with the language shifts. You're not going to completely get rid of your self-critic, but you then start to let go of the grip. It doesn't have that massive hold on you anymore. If you can change those things. If you hear it in a particular part of your head, like if it's coming from the back, can you change it to somewhere else? And this is the beauty. We're all in control. So just play with it. Like have some fun and see what you can come up with.
I love that, because the thing that I've heard most is just name your self-critic. And while I think that helps to a certain extent, I think giving it a voice when it does pop up, you'll probably take it less seriously to begin with. It changes the emotional connection to it and is not as heightened. So your nervous system can probably hear it and handle it a little bit better as well, because it's not, say, someone that's triggering a really strong emotion in you. If it's a cartoon character that you love or something like that, then you'll probably have like a little giggle to yourself and maybe not take it so seriously.
Yeah, exactly. And it's about loosening that grip that it has on you so that you can then change and do something different. So
Yeah, that's such a fun exercise. So just before we tie up this episode, I appreciate so much all of the NLP tips and insights you've given the listeners today, but I would love to know, what does NLP mean to you and look like for you as a practitioner?
yeah. So like I can't talk about just NLP for me, because I do have the hypno side as well, and it is my beautiful blend that I've got. NLP for me gives me the structure to coach and to help people and women in particularly change their mindset that they've outgrown. And the beautiful thing that I love is that then the hypno side gives me the license to actually coach the individual in front of me my way. It's not sticking to a script and reading from a piece of paper. It's actually coaching the person in front of me to get what they want. And that's what I love about the blend. I can't do one without the other. It's a package deal.
That's incredible. With your offering and your package deal, is it something that you offer in a group setting, or is it just one-on-one to make sure it's very personalized and bespoke for each client that you have?
Yeah, at the moment it is just one-on-one. My package is designed for that one-on-one to help people actually move through those blocks that they're facing themselves. I do love a group and community feel, which can be uncomfortable for people, but it is a beautiful space to be in, and I really do like being in those spaces myself now. I never used to. That's where I would like to head in the future. At the moment it's just the one-on-one, solely focused on the individual.
I love that. And I think there's a time and place for each as well. For some people, being in a group environment, especially if they're wanting an introduction to either NLP or hypnotherapy, it can feel quite comforting when you're with other people because you have that collective energy and shared space, so it can feel quite safe. But then I think on the other side as well, having the one-on-one experience is very bespoke and personal, and it's just a private moment between yourself as the facilitator and the practitioner and your client. So there's that shared experience where you've helped personally move them through that, and you get to guide them gently and safely through it. And it's really exciting if you're looking at exploring more group offerings next year. But I think there's so much power and beauty in one-on-one as well, because I think that's sometimes where the faster shifts happen as well, because you don't have anywhere to hide. It's just you. And with that in mind, if people are wanting to book in with you or find out more about what you can do, I will link all of your information in the show notes. But is there somewhere in particular that they can reach out to you?
Head over to my Instagram. They can have a gaze at some of the content tips that I'm sharing. We can also have private conversations, or if they're liking what they're seeing and just want to jump on in, they can book a 30-minute connection call as well, and we can have a chat how we can get them from where they are to where they want to be.
And just to leave the listeners with this as well, if they are new to NLP and hypnotherapy, what would be one thing that you would say to them?
It's client-based. So my intention is always to help you with your desired outcomes. It's never about what I want. I'm not going to make you cluck like a chicken or anything like that. It's a completely safe space where we can make ecological and sustainable changes for you to actually live the life that you want to. So if you want to find out more, then please reach out.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the episode today, Brooke. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. And that's a wrap on another episode. If this one resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future conversations, and share it with someone else who's learning to trust herself again. You can connect with me on Instagram, Tash, where I share more about self-trust, personal growth, and human design. If you'd like to go deeper, you can explore my books and offerings, all designed to support you as you build self-trust and step into the next version of yourself with confidence. Until next time, please remember that you're not too much or too little. You're just you. Keep choosing yourself.